Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. My name is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. And today we have another great topic. It is called Development in Progress within the City of Sanford. Such an incredible topic, in my opinion. It is the basis of everything. And our two special guests are Eileen Hinson. She's the planning director for the City of Sanford and made time out of her busy day to come talk to us. Hi, Eileen.
Hi.
And then it just so happens, since we're in the city manager's office together, Tom Tomerlin, who is our economic development director, was walking by. And I said, Tom, come on in, because there is a connection between what happens in planning and then the overarching big picture of economic development in the city of Sanford. So we want to jump right in because we have a brand new interactive development map that's been updated. It's out on our website and social media, but we really want to detail some of the future construction and things that are under construction, because we are booming. We're a booming city. Tom, did you want to say something? Because I know you have to leave.
Thank you for calling me in, Lisa. I am just thrilled to be sitting here with Eileen Hinson. She's my professional colleague and friend. And what the planning department has been doing is putting together such a valuable tool. It seems very simple on first thought, but basically what it is a table and an accompanying map that's interactive on our website. There's also a static version of it that's a large PDF that you could actually access by contacting the planning department. But the value of this is basically it answers the question that we get so much in the community. So we saw something clearing happening. We see something happening on this corner, wherever the corner might be. Maybe it's the corner of 46 and East Lake Mary Boulevard. They're saying, well, things are being cleared. What exactly is going to go out at that project? And so what this development services map does is it helps inform residents of what exactly is in the pipeline, what's not only being constructed as we speak, but what's also in the pipeline. And as the economic developer in the city, I'm thrilled about it because residents certainly have questions, but businesses do too. And the development industry keeps a keen eye on that. And I'm just thrilled that this product exists. Is probably the thing that I share the most when I try to tell the economic development story within the city of Sanford. And I just want to give a real shout out to Eileen's team, because what they've been able to do for us is, and I know this also may not sound that powerful, but what they've been able to do is set a regulatory table within our city such that people and that want to develop our land understand that we do have this quality standard, but we'll do everything in our power to try to get you to a groundbreaking and, even better yet, to a ribbon cutting. So I'm going to let Eileen explain that map a little bit more, and I'm going to step out, but what a great topic. I hope it works. I hope you get some great information from this.
Thank you, Tom Tomerlin. Have a happy Thursday.
Thank you. Take it away, Eileen.
Bye, Tom.
So Eileen, yes, you and your team now. You've got a full department now, correct? Is that helping
actually,
you?
we're still down one administrative professional, and we are working on hiring back our planning inspector. Our inspector position was left empty a few years ago, and it's not been refilled. And then this year, because of all the up and coming construction, been able to do that. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get that position filled soon. But in general, our department is back on its feet, and we've been doing amazing things in the last year.
Great. Let's hear it. Let's hear some of those
So
amazing
it
things.
should come as no surprise to anyone who lives here in Central Florida. Development and construction is booming. City of Sanford is no stranger to the growth, obviously. Recent development applications are at an all-time high. Site and building construction are right there. They're following. That being said, there are certain areas of the city, though, that you might see higher development and then redevelopment and different kinds of development. So in a quick run around the city, the west side of town, there's a lot of clearing and there's a lot of activity. Some of it's commercial. The majority that we're seeing on the upper west side of town, over by the mall and I-4 and State Road 46, that's going to be a lot of apartment development. It's a higher density area, access to I-4, the services, the retail, the restaurants, the people want to live there. So the apartments are coming in, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Now, when you mean density, high density, what does that actually mean, Eileen?
So density is number of dwelling units per acre. So if you have a lower density, you're going to have single family, you're going to have quarter acre lots, you're going to have even 50-foot lots are far less dense than apartments, which are, 3 and 4 story buildings, multiple units per floor. So your density ranges, but when you get into high density areas like the area by the mall or even just outside of that, we have higher density areas to allow for growth to be more compact.
Okay.
So
I see. And that makes sense, right? I mean,
right, yeah, you want your corridors to be higher density. You don't want the sprawling because you want the connectivity. If you sprawl everything out, it's harder to get to things. It's harder to make the services easy to access.
I see.
So when
Connectivity, right? That's important.
connectivity is very important. The sidewalk connectivity, the trail connectivity. The city's been working with Seminole County on making sure that those are missing links that might be missing are being connected. You can go the whole length of the Riverwalk now
Yeah.
on the trail system, and then it connects around to Volusia County, and then there's plans throughout the whole region that connect the coasts and beyond. So
Let me ask you this. So in a city like Sanford, connectivity is important, but if you were in a city that had a whole subway system or rail, that wouldn't be so important because you have rail taking you from block to block, correct? Or am I
not
no?
necessarily. No, because
Okay.
what the connectivity all works together. The more multimodal a city is, the more opportunity for pedestrians or vehicles to get from point A to point B and beyond. So your multimodal is everything from the pedestrian walks on a trail, the pedestrian gets on a train, the pedestrian gets off the train, but where they get off the train may not be as friendly to walk, so maybe there's a tram or a shuttle or something like that. So those all connect you together.
I see.
When you're in more the sprawling residential neighborhoods, all you really have is sidewalks. You have to get to some of those nodes. Those nodes are going to get you on a bus, or they're going to get you on a train or a tram, or something that allows you to get on a trail on a bicycle. So the higher connected areas are going to be where you find more of the multimodal access points.
And that's an attraction, I'm sure, to developers or people, not really developers, but to people who want to live here, right?
To people that want to live with that connectivity. Some people
Yeah.
really like the large acre lots and they want to kind of be out, and then they don't mind traveling a distance to get to the stores because it's more of a quiet area. Some
Right.
people want to live among that hubbub. People want to live where they can get to a restaurant or a retail store by foot or quickly jumping on a bicycle. They might want to be able to go out their front door of stay in an apartment, go out the front door, get on a bus, take it to whatever shopping center, do what they need, and then return to their apartment. It just depends on the lifestyle choice. But by providing for apartments and townhomes and single family on smaller lots and larger lots, we're offering this mixed opportunity for multiple types of residential to be available.
Right, and that's a great attraction for City of Sanford, right?
Right. A city works best when it has multiple housing options available.
Wonderful. So that was the west side of town one that you were talking about, which was
Right. We started out on the west side talking about apartments, kind of spread out to
Yeah.
multimodal and higher density. But it's not just residential on that west side. We have our commerce areas. We have some larger industrial projects going in off of the Church Street and White Cedar area off the rail tracks. We also have some growth going on along the St. John's Parkway into Jewett Lane. We have things that are coming up along the Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard corridor. And so that's all the Upper West Side. And they're sort of working together to make sure that the appropriate buffers are met and the separations are met, but they interact so that the job centers are available and the residences to support those job centers are within reach. So the other side of town, though, which is the southeast side, south of the airport and all along the new Lake Mary Boulevard corridor, the growth is there as well. There was recent rapid growth that the city engaged with the Seminole County and City of Sanford International Airport and did a joint interlocal study that assessed the development along that corridor so that the three jurisdictions could work together and make sure that the growth is consistent with what they are trying to seek together. So along Lake Mary Boulevard on the south side, it's more geared toward residential. On the north side, where the road runs east-west, is more airport. And then along the north-south segment, from where Lake Mary runs to where it sort of turns east-west, you're going to see a lot more commercial. So that commercial growth includes the Publix that everybody's been waiting on.
Yay.
And then some additional commercial that we don't know yet. It's still speculative, and we're still working on putting that together, but it could be anywhere from retail to restaurant, potentially a hotel or daycare. Things like that are what's available on that east side in some of the newer adopted PDs.
Plan
development.
Plan development.
The plan development is a zoning classification that allows for flexibility in development, but lays out specific design guidelines so that it's a cohesive project.
Okay. Thank you for that definition, explaining that. Yeah, so this is really interesting, and Sanford has we're seeing a lot of development because we have the land, we have the space, is that correct?
Some of it is land and growth on the edges of our boundaries, but we are seeing a fair amount of infill development. We've got a number of projects coming in downtown. Redevelopment of some of the older buildings. We have a number of people trying to move residential into downtown, which has been lacking for years, for people to be able to live near those downtown services, to have that downtown life. But also we have 1792, which has for a long time been sort of neglected in terms of development. People have not been operating along the 1792 corridor, and we've recently had development of several restaurants and then a couple of smaller residential subdivisions just off the main center of French Avenue and 25th Street. We have a proposed Culver's. We have a proposed
Wait, was that Culver's? Is
Culver's,
that
yeah.
that?
The restaurant from Wisconsin with the fried cheese curds.
Okay, and it's custard, right?
Yes,
Yes,
they have
okay,
the
frozen
the
custard.
Frozen custards.
Okay, yes.
But yeah, so that's coming in on 1792. We've got a couple of other smaller restaurants that'll be doing some infill at the Lake Mary intersection there. And then we have there's an out parcel in front of the Winn-Dixie Plaza that's been a grass patch for a really long time. And they're looking to finally do that infill there. So we are seeing finally growth along the 1792 redevelopment area.
Now, when you mean infill, can we just share? It's empty space that you fill with business.
Essentially
That sounds
it's surrounded by city, but it's currently vacant. Whether it was something there before, something that's been unused for a while, or something that's never been developed, but it's considered infill because you're filling in
Right.
that space that's not currently used.
right. And so, while you're, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to go to our website, you can also follow along or look at the map that we refer to, and it's under development services under departments, and then the planning division, and we have the interactive map on our website at sanfordfl.gov. But so you can kind of follow along and see what we are referencing, Eileen. So that's a lot of great information and new and up and coming projects for the city,
Right.
our residents and visitors.
But always remember, development does come in waves. So you'll see, you'll see a lot of development and then it'll slow, or you'll see a lot of one type of development. Maybe you'll see a lot of apartments and then it'll be less apartments because that need has been met. And then it shifts again to townhomes or single family or, some other type of residential that we may not have seen yet. Mixed use elements are coming into play because people are looking for that opportunity to be able to live somewhere, work somewhere, entertain somewhere without having to go far, without having to deal with traffic or roads or other means of transportation besides just foot or bike.
Are we seeing a nice mix of residential and commercial development in here at this point in the city, or?
We do. We have a good industrial sector right now that's taking off post-COVID. We've had a number of projects come in that are industrial in nature. And then we have commercial a little less. There's a little less commercial right now, but the residential housing and rooftops, as they call them, are coming into play, which brings the people, which brings the need for the commercials. So it's sort of, they bring in the people, then they bring in the services to serve them. So we will see more, hopefully, commercial fill in the out parcels that are being created with the residential projects. But yes, the industrial mix right now is on the way up, and then the multifamily is high, and the single family is on the way down from what our development trends have been.
Yeah, and there's plenty of plans in review and proposed projects I see here. There's 31 items listed on this map here.
We are definitely staying busy. We are, continuing to work with the development community, but we also trying to bring the best that Sanford can get. We are working with them to bring amenities to the residential complexes. We're looking to make sure that the commercial buildings are attractive and aesthetically pleasing, as well as clean and safe, and provide for the best services to the citizens of Sanford, as well as guests and their friends and the business community as well.
Yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And this map. I know your staff puts together this with our GIS person. It's just so helpful, I think, to see it visually. There's so much information shared at commission meetings when things are going through the process of approvals. And this way you can take a really broad view and see for yourself as a resident, visitor, business owner, the development here in the city of Sanford, approved, under construction, and things that are in review and proposed projects. And we are busy, and your department is extremely busy. And that's a good thing for Sanford. So if you are interested in learning more about Sanford in general, visit the city website and and take a look and become involved in what's happening here.
Right.
And
so,
engaged.
Yes, definitely get engaged. We do have, before the projects begin, maybe not so much that they're on this list already, but keep an eye out on city commission agendas, planning and zoning commission agendas. Perhaps sign up for Citizens Academy. Get yourself involved in the community if you want to be part of the development and help guide the growth. We are very much interested in working with the citizens as well as the economic community that helps the city grow. So feel free to reach out to our department in planning, Lisa Holder here, and her communications component, as well as economic development, Tom Tomerlin and Pam. They should be able to assist in all kinds of questions to answer for you.
Right. And when you say, I like that, guide the growth, because this is local government, closest to the people, and that's the basis of it. So that's, any last words or anything else you'd like to say, Eileen? I really appreciate you. You're so super busy, as everyone could hear. Anything that you'd like to say to the listener about planning in general and its connection to city government?
Really just stay in the know. Make sure that you're aware of what's going on, at least in your immediate surroundings, because you don't always hit all parts of town all the time. But if you do drive by and you want to know something that's going on, just reach out to the city or even check out our website. You can do it in the middle of the night when you can't sleep, and you can see what's going on. And if you have questions the next day, give us a call.
There you go. What's the number to your department, Eileen, if people have any questions?
The main line is 407-688-5140.
All right. Thank you for that. And I can't thank you enough, Eileen. We were in a meeting together and you were sharing all this development information. I said, this would be a great topic for our podcast, and we'd love to have you back on. And I'm over the moon about the interactive development map. I'm a resident too, but it's just, it puts it in black and white right there, so you can see visually the development in the city of Sanford and what's proposed. And so I think it's a really great tool.
Right.
And
the best thing about the interactive map is it actually has pictures, it has plans, it has photos. It gives you ideas as to what is coming, more than just names, more than just saying it's going to be a restaurant. It'll tell you what the restaurant's going to look like, or how the parking's going to be, or where the driveways are.
Exactly.
And those are things that people want to know. What, is that going to affect my daily trip, or is that someplace that I'll be able to get to on my way to work? I mean, we have a Starbucks coming on 1792. Is it close to where you want to go and get your morning coffee, or maybe you want that afternoon lunch at Culver's? It really depends on what you want, and you can always find out when it's coming and how it's going to impact your day.
Right, because if you're driving along and you're like, wait, what's that? What's happening over there? Look at that. They're building what? Or, and you turn the other street and you're like, they cleared that. This is, I know I do that when I'm driving around the city. Mm-hmm. You will now know, and you can be the star of your neighborhood or something if trying to explain to people what's happening, or those that are riding with you. We really want you to be, we're doing these podcasts to educate you and be transparent of all of the things that the city of Sanford's doing, not just at commission meetings, public meetings, but we'd like to share this information so you understand everything that's happening in your city. This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. You're listening to Sanford Says. You can subscribe to this podcast wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcast and on the city website at sanfordfl.gov. Thank you for listening. Until next time, have a great day. Bye now.